And welcome to episode 7 of Elite Aficionados. I'm your host, Matt Thornton, and we are broadcasting live today from Elite Cigars Rowlett. What an awesome show. We took a little bit of time off. We had some vacation, man. You got to take some vacation,
Well-deserved.
Right? Well-deserved vacation, indeed. Went to the beach, got a little tan, got a little color in our faces, you know. Hey, we're excited, though. It's going to be a featured cigar tonight, ECCJ from Aficionados Cigars, and we'll pair it with Chubby Unicorn Double IPA from Intrinsic Brewing. And our special guest is the man, the myth, the legend, founder and owner of Intrinsic Smokehouse Brewery, the one and only Kerry Hodson. Glad to have you tonight, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any
excuse to drink beer and smoke cigars, you're here. It wasn't real hard to get you on. Is that what you're saying?
And I'm indoors.
We're in the AC.
Very
it's
nice.
105 degrees outside, so we're glad to have you. Kerry, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where'd you grow up?
Just basically down the street, Garland, Texas.
Nice. All right.
Born and raised. Wanted to start a business here because it's my neighborhood, and I was kind of the sleepy downtown area. Would ride my bike down there as a kid. Nothing to do. Drove my car down there as a teenager.
Yeah.
Nothing to do. Went to college, came back. Was like, man, all my friends are moving away. Someone should really do something. Someone should do something. So my wife and I thought, I'll name that Someone's Us.
That's awesome. And you got Craig, your hype man, is here tonight. I see him back there. Yeah, he's back in the studio.
The bodyguard.
The bodyguard. Love to have him here. Thanks for coming by.
DD too.
He might be the DD, depending on how many beers we drink.
He needs a bodyguard. He's an important guy.
He is. I mean, he's the proprietor, man.
One of the greatest barbecue joints in North Texas.
Exactly.
Not just Dallas, but North Texas.
Facts.
Fantastic.
Facts. There you go. Kerry, we like to ask our guests, when did you smoke your first cigar? Tell us about your first cigar experience.
Oh my goodness. Don't tell my mom, but probably about 13, and I smoked it like a cigarette. And
oh no. So you're coughing and wheezing and hacking.
About as green as a Kindle.
Yep.
All right. The next time was a friend's wedding, and I did a little better there.
Okay, all right. Didn't inhale as much?
Right. But I was always told, Cubans were the thing. And then I started coming here and really.
And you realize that Cubans are not the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
There,
And honestly, I'm still figuring out what I like. And that's what's great about this community is there's not this pretentious feeling when you walk in.
Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah.
That room can be intimidating. Like,
that humidor is big, and there's a lot of cigars in there, and that you're absolutely. I felt the same way. The first time I walked into Rowlett Elite, it was welcoming. They open arms. So yeah, this is your.
And I got to tell you, I
shop,
truly appreciate you saying that, because when this was Main Street Cigars and Roger and I were regulars here, the humidor was maybe a third, maybe a quarter of the size of what it is now. Yeah. So when you say that it's a lot of cigars in there and it's a little intimidating, it makes my heart feel good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, glad to have you. We're going to talk a lot more about the Chubby Unicorn Double IPA. Can't wait to get to that. But first, we got to talk about the ECCJ from Aficionados Cigars, our cigar aficionado, Trey Anders. Doc, Trey, tell us about it. What do you got?
So the ECCJ is a Nicaraguan Puro blend from Aficionados Cigars. And Aficionados is owned by a gentleman named Dion, and his last name, I think it's Gelato or Gelato. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it.
Gelato, is he Italian?
Right.
Sounds like a cool.
But he actually owns a cigar shop in Reno, Nevada. So having a retailer starting his own cigar company and being as successful as he is actually pretty impressive. There's plenty of cigar shops around the country that have started a cigar brand, and it's usually pretty regional or maybe just in their shop. But he's gotten a lot of acclaim around the country, and his cigars are made at Aganorsa, which we had Patrick Carmichael on a couple episodes ago, and we talked about how it's one of the bigger tobacco growing companies and manufacturers in the world, and this is one of the brands that they actually make at Aganorsa, and that's awesome. He's got a really refined palate, and they basically give him one of the factory, and they've actually had him do some blending with some of their brand because they really respect his palate and what he does. So the ECCJ. It's a really nice cigar. Comes in 3 sizes. We're smoking the Robusto Extra today. So it's I'd say it's a nice solid medium, right? And it's got a Nicaraguan Rosado wrapper. So Rosado. Rosados tend to be a little bit more of a reddish hue and a little hint of sweetness maybe to it. But the entire blend itself is fully Nicaraguan, and it tends to have a little bit of an overall sourness on top of the sweetness from the Rosado wrapper, which is why we thought that it'd be a really good pairing with an IPA.
Gotcha.
So
not overly spicy, right? Not overly punch you in the mouth, because some IPAs can punch you in the mouth. So it should be a really good. It is, I think, in my mind, a really good balance.
And to be fair, we have loved Kerry since he opened Intrinsic, and we've been looking for an opportunity to bring him on the podcast, and smoked this cigar the other day, and Roger was like, this we need to pair with the Chubby Unicorn. And we just talked it into reality, and here we are, man. And this is just it's a great pairing. It's a great cigar. Like I said, nice medium body stick, not much spiciness, got a little hint of sweetness, a little sourness, and the hoppiness from the Chubby Unicorn Double IPA. It's a really nice pairing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys introduced me to the fact that beers do pair with cigars. I honestly, I did not know that. I'm the non-cigar aficionado or spirits aficionado, but I love that you guys are pairing beers. Question, Kerry, for you, obviously. You're a beer man, of course. You love beers. What's special about a beer and a cigar to you? What do you like pairing those two items together?
Well, to throw in a third thing, I would say beer, smoking meats, which is kind of
Oh,
the other
yeah.
half of my
Okay.
life.
All right. Love it.
And smoking cigars probably predates most of history.
Yeah.
They're time-honored traditions in almost every culture of the world. They're for when you had a hard day. They're for when you're having the best day. So it's as far as the flavors go, I was a little worried, honestly, because sometimes
you question our spirits and cigar aficionados?
First time on
Is
the
that what
show.
you're saying? Oh my gosh!
These guys are going to learn. So far, we're 7 for 7.
Right, that is true. That is true.
I will question no more. But I was worried because you can have too much of a good thing. They combine like flavors and they get over.
Well, luckily for you, we drink a lot and we smoke a lot. So it's made it a little bit easier for us to get our pairings on board. While we have Kerry on camera, I'm going to put him on the spot a little bit.
Oh, okay. Okay, here we go.
About 15 minutes ago, we discussed possibly doing a collaboration beer between Intrinsic and Elite Cigars Rowlett. So I'm going to put his feet to the fire now that we have him on camera.
Wow.
He might not ever speak to me again, but I got you. We're going to do this. We're going to do this.
That's one of my favorite things.
It's recorded for posterity. So now you got to.
Okay.
No, that's great. So is challenge accepted? What do you think?
Absolutely a challenge.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
That's great.
Very excited.
So would you have a special cigar that would go with said brew, or what are you thinking, Trey?
Oh, well, what we were discussing is possibly doing like a smoked IPA or smoked something or other, or maybe using tobacco infusion in a beer, like something that we would be able to pair both of our businesses together.
That's awesome.
Because we support each other.
Right.
We used to support you a lot more, but now you don't let us smoke anymore outside. So we still go. We still go.
We are remodeling.
And I love you for that.
A rooftop deck just for you.
See,
a
there you go.
rooftop deck.
That's Elite Aficionados right there.
There you go. Love it. And so, can you put tobacco tobacco in a beer? I mean,
Put tobacco in anything you want to.
really? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, is that something that
I
you
believe
can do?
so, as long as the TTB, the tax.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a couple of rules. We probably have to look out for the nicotine effect and stuff. But
There's some policy that we got to review. Yeah,
like
fair
CBD and things, we have to be careful about. But
Yeah.
we've used hemp terpenes.
Okay.
We've used brisket in a beer, a whole pig's head once.
Yeah.
Lots of different fruits.
A whole pig's head.
Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
you've got barrel-aged cigars as well. Maybe
Yeah, of course.
use the same type of
Oh, yeah.
barrel.
Yeah,
There's,
sure.
there's endless possibilities.
Oh,
It doesn't
okay.
necessarily have to be smoked or have tobacco in it, but we can match flavors.
That's awesome.
Design something that's
Wow, I'm already stoked, man.
So we're going to have you back on the show once we have that done, and it's going to be a celebration.
This guy is an artistic genius. I never thought about using the same barrels that I aged cigars in
Right.
Yeah.
to age some beer in.
It's a great. It's a great.
You know anybody at Buffalo Trace?
We'll talk.
Good talk. There you go.
That's the next episode.
Yeah. Next episode. Roger, what kind of flavors you getting from the cigar? What are you feeling?
So it is mild. It is, like Trey said, it's got some sweetness to it. I don't know. I'm not the cigar guy. I smoke a lot of cigars, but I'm not the cigar guy. But I do know that this cigar pairs really well with this beer. It does not one overpowers the other. They're kind of different,
Right.
but somehow they come together. And I lucked up on this pairing.
Okay.
I don't want to get into it too much, but I lucked up on this
Hey,
pairing.
listen. Even a blind squirrel finds another every once in a while.
Absolutely.
There you go.
And I'm blind most of the time.
No.
And even Gary said that he tried a Candela cigar with an IPA.
Okay.
And for those of you guys that don't know, Candelas tend to be, it's a green wrapper. They tend to be a little under fermented. Now, a lot of times you get a little bit of a grassy note to it. They're starting to come back a little bit more into fashion. They were really big, decades ago.
Right.
But yeah, those tend to be very grassy and very, sometimes salty. And Kerry said that he tried one with one of his beers and it didn't quite go as expected.
Didn't go as expected.
And that's
Well,
because he's not an elite aficionado.
trial and error.
He suggested a Saison, which
He loves horse blankety beers.
A Saison with a Candela would be a fantastic pairing.
There you
I
go.
guarantee it.
So if we do that on an episode, I'm going to drink something else.
So ECCJ Nicaraguan,
Yep.
right, and that's
Nicaraguan Puro.
that volcanic,
Yep.
right, that we talked about in a previous episode. Which Nicaragua just seems to be making great cigars.
So Nicaraguan tobacco has been rated #1 for the last 3 or 4 years, overtaking Dominican tobacco.
Wow, yeah.
But yeah, that volcanic ash, I believe they've had like 7 active volcanoes in the past in Nicaragua.
Wow, yeah.
So there's literally volcanic ash in almost every square inch of Nicaragua as a country.
Right.
Which is what's so surprising about this cigar is it's a completely Nicaraguan wrapper, binder, filler.
Everything is Nicaraguan.
But you don't have that spice in it that you normally would get, and I think it's a testament to Dion and his blending. Like, it's really, really a nice cigar, which I don't mind a spicy Nicaraguan, but with this beer, that's not what I would have picked.
I would think it's overwhelming.
Right.
That's what I was afraid of.
No,
You were
this,
afraid of the overwhelming factor.
Yeah.
this actually pairs very nice.
Well, it does, in fact, pair beautifully. And, man, talking about beautiful pairings, we got our featured spirit coming up after this message. We're going to do Chubby Unicorn Double IPA, of course, with our guy, Kerry Hodson. And, of course, the Rogers Ramble supporting local breweries. Come back right after these messages.
De Alto Cedro voy para Marcané, llego a Puerto voy para Mayarín. De Alto Cedro voy para Marcané, llego a Puerto voy para Mayarín. De Alto Cedro voy para Marcané, llego a Puerto voy para Mayarín.
And and welcome back to Elite Aficionados, Episode 7. I'm your host, Matt Thornton, along with famous Roger Amos, Doc Trey Andrews, and we got Carrie Hodson from Intrinsic Brewery is here as well. And man, Chubby Unicorn Double IPA is on the docket, and I'm already loving it. Roger, tell us about it, man.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna lean heavily on Carrie for this segment for sure, because he's the brewer, right? I mean, this is his beer. But I lucked up on this pairing. It's kind of a funny story. We went to dinner, my wife and I, at Opa Greek Tavern right here in Rowlett. I know Carrie the fan. Yeah, I know Carrie the fan of Kosas. They do, absolutely. I went and had a nice, beautiful lamb shank on top of some orzo pasta with that red wine, green beans. Delicious.
Man, I'm getting hungry.
Some pita on the side.
Right.
And I said, you know what? They got Intrinsic. They got some Chubby Unicorn. Let me drink that beer.
Yeah.
I'm drinking it. It paired really well with that food as well. And I had a fantastic dinner. And I said, being Texas and being COVID, I'm going to get a beer to go. So I got a beer to go. Brought it up here. I was drinking Chubby Unicorn, and I literally just went in. I want to smoke something different. I haven't had this cigar before. I like Aficionados cigars. Let me try this cigar. So I'm smoking the cigar. I'm drinking the beer. I'm like, holy crap, this is phenomenal. This is a really, really good pairing. It's super smooth. It's sweet. It's a little crisp, right? To me, it's got a little crisp, a little bit of bite at the end. And the cigar is just super smooth, sweet, a little bit of, I wouldn't call it sour, but it just somehow it paired really, really well. I literally texted Trey. I said, dude, we got to do Chubby Unicorn and Aficionados CCCJ. This is a fantastic pairing. I'd only had 2 beers, so it's not like I was,
2 of these beers?
2 of these. I was halfway through the second one, so it's not that big.
2 beers.
But I was like, this is a great pairing. It's not one I would have ever thought about even trying. I've had the beer several times. It's a fantastic beer. I've never had this cigar, but somehow they just worked, man. And I really, really liked it. It's been great.
Great. So, Carrie, I got to ask, Chubby Unicorn Double IPA, how did you come up with that name? The Chubby Unicorn. I mean, it fits if the offensive line here. But, what do you got?
Well, like Trey said, this is an extra medium cigar. Trey's an extra medium guy.
Okay. Extra medium. I like that.
Extra medium beer for you guys. Double IPA just means higher ABV, so this clocks in around 9.2. And at the time when we came up with this recipe years back, we were looking for a drinkable IPA that hit all the right notes without being overwhelming.
Gotcha.
Like when I first got into smoking cigars, I kind of went, what's the strongest, most flavorful Robusto. I think I would like really dark cigars as much as I can find, and then you kind of back off and your cigar smoking career. I think most people find that they just want most of the time it's a smokable sweet cigar.
Right.
And that's how I felt about IPAs. They were making 100 IBU IPAs, which, on a scale of bitterness.
Super hoppy and bitter, just to be hoppy and bitter.
So Matt, just for you, Matt, IBU stands for International Bitterness Units, correct?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I did not know that. I appreciate that, Roger. Roger looking out for me. Thank you.
Well, I feel like a lot of people may not know that.
Yeah, you know what? True enough. Yeah,
and that's the way to manage or to label the hoppiness of a beer.
Okay.
So I was looking for an IPA that wasn't super malty and punch you in the face. I wanted something drinkable, or we say crushable nowadays.
Right.
Cool kids crushable.
All right. I feel like this beer might actually punch you in the face, but you don't know that it's punching you in the face. Kind of like my wife. That's kind of how I feel about her.
Does it sneak up on you?
And sometimes you really like it when that happens.
Yeah, like she can punch me in the face. That means she loves me. I'm good with it.
The beard protection.
Right.
So that was, to me, the idea of this IPA was like the unicorn.
Oh, I see.
And it's big and double, and so it's like Chubby Unicorn, and it's fun. It's a fun name. It's done really well for the brand. People recognize it.
And this is one of the beers that you have on all the time.
Yeah.
Like you rotate some other things, but this one it's a standard there. It's
right.
Stalwart.
Make it every couple weeks. New batch every couple weeks.
Yeah. And have you won any awards or anything with this? Not to put you on the spot, but if you haven't tried, you should. Oh, you haven't tried. You need to, man. Enter it into some contests, man. I feel like you win some.
It's incredible.
Maybe. I mean, there is that it is a little lighter in color than what they say double IPA
Yeah.
should be.
Okay. Oh,
but-
I see.
And it's lower IBU than what it should be.
Right.
I just think the type of hops also make a huge difference.
Yeah.
You can't just go by this number
Right.
for bitterness. It's about the flavor
So the
profile,
flavor and the aroma. It's not just a bitterness. It's not just like licking a stick of deodorant,
Right.
Right.
which some IPAs are like licking a stick of deodorant.
Okay.
You've actually done that. All right.
Barbecue
That makes one of us.
Barbecue competitions are the same way, though, right? Like they have various tests that it really doesn't evaluate the quality of your barbecue or the flavor of your barbecue, but people don't do those contests because you're making great barbecue and people love it. Why should you have to enter it somewhere for people to say, "Oh no, it doesn't bend over your fork the way it should"?
Fair point.
Who
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah.
It's incredible barbecue.
It's more likely to win People's Choice than it is to win.
Right.
And that's what we do.
Yeah, so you're a brewery of the people. You want the people's affirmation, not the nerdy kind of award guys, right? Yeah, I get it.
You know, I came up in the homebrew circuit for a decade.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. That's how you got your start.
And I know all the things that should be. This is it.
Nice. So I know obviously it's a smokehouse and brewery, Big Garland, Texas. Tell us a little bit about. I got to ask you about the barbecue side. I mean, how did you get involved in that? You got to know a little bit about the restaurant. Yeah.
It's really difficult to start a brewery. There's a lot of passion that comes with it, which makes it fun.
Right.
And,
Just like making barbecue, there's a lot of passion involved in it.
and so I was like, why not do like two of the most difficult things at the same time?
Because you're obviously a real smart guy.
Literally.
Yeah, two low and slow, long thought process, expensive. You have to keep it fresh all the time.
Right.
But in reality, beer and barbecue are intrinsically Texan.
Intrinsic. Intrinsic.
See what you did there.
I mean, it's everything about craft and tradition and family, and we're a family-friendly place. Sure, but we also have parties, so it's
Right.
Yeah.
And cigar smokers.
Right.
and so soon to have a patio.
My God.
Soon to have a new patio.
Yeah.
Built for you, Trey. Just for you, man.
And I don't want to sabotage the beer portion of this.
Yeah.
Why stop now, Trey? You do it every week.
It is Intrinsic Smokehouse and Brewery, right? And let me tell you, man, the barbecue is absolutely amazing. But my favorite, Saturdays, they do smoked pastrami.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I have been given permission from the guy in charge that if you want to get the brisket nachos and substitute the pastrami for the brisket, they're going to do it. But it's not going to be on the menu.
You're talking secret menu right there.
And
Secret menu.
until sold out, right?
Right.
Until sold out.
Very true. The process of that takes 2 weeks, and so we're always overlapping and continually making that. When it's gone, it's gone.
But that pastrami is incredible.
Yeah. And to your point, I mean, as you said, with beer and with barbecue, you have to be a patient man. So, Harry, you must be a patient man. You're not afraid to wait for excellence. Is that kind of describe you? Is that you're a guy that'll wait for greatness?
Absolutely. I mean, otherwise, what's the point? We planned our business for 5 years before we
Wow,
signed the lease.
5 years. That's amazing.
And there's fundraising involved, and testing with the community, and doing our crowdfund campaign, and hurdles, and the city didn't know what a brew pub was, and the health department didn't know how to handle the beer side of things.
Yay, Garland.
And
They've come a long way. They've come a long way for sure.
Thanks to Intrinsic.
Garland has come a long, yeah, thanks to Carrie.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks to Carrie.
100%.
Educated them.
And then, I remember, real quick, short story.
Yeah.
There's when we first put in our smoker, it's a 6,000 pound smoker built in Mesquite, Texas, called
Okay.
Boiler, and it was made in 1985. Ours.
Wow.
And we put it in. It's NSF approved, so the health department loved it.
Right.
It's 100% wood fired. It's
Yeah.
great. 3 days before we opened, we're rolling smoke, testing out its new location.
Okay.
We had it in
Yeah.
my backyard for 9 months.
Oh, yeah, in your backyard.
The neighbors were like,
I bet
"What is that shit?"
You were probably the most important guy in the whole
Right.
neighborhood, right?
All your neighbors love you.
And then I get a call, and the Garland my building right behind this is like, you guys are smoking us out of our well, we need you to not run the smoker all the time.
Oh,
you just run at certain hours or so we got it worked out.
Do they realize that the septic system is down there?
Right.
I would much rather be able to smell your barbecue than that.
Drown that out.
And we had early on a couple people from the apartments were like, mostly they would go to work and they're just mad because they're hungry.
Right.
Right.
And with the live music early on, people were like, oh, it's kind of noisy downtown. So, well, downtown is changing. And it's getting a lot
Thank
more
God.
And
Thank Gary.
it's hard to get an apartment down there.
Right.
So
It is, yeah, it's very difficult. Well, great stuff. I love that you've got a smokehouse and a brewery. That's awesome. And speaking of, you're a local brewery. Supporting local breweries is something I know famous Roger Amos is passionate about. Roger, what do you think about
Supporting local.
Yeah, support local. So I brought it up on a show before. I'm a big fan of supporting local businesses. These folks are your friends, they're your neighbors, they're your families. I know Carrie is huge into supporting local. You've partnered with Costas. You've partnered with Costas here at OPA. You've partnered with other breweries, local breweries. Obviously, you're on the Chamber of Commerce, right? You're doing something.
Business association.
Okay, yeah. So you're doing something big down in downtown Garland. I moved to Texas, 25, 26 years ago. We used to have the fireworks displays down there at the square. Right. I'm like, man, this is a really cool spot. Why does this square suck? There's nothing here except for the 4th of July. For years, there was nothing there.
1 week out of the year.
Yeah, 1 week out of the year, that place was great. And then stuff started happening. I think most of it is because of you, man. You spearheaded it. So I kind of want to turn this over to you. And, how did you go about doing that? How hard was it? Just tell the story of what it took for you to become such an integral part of downtown Garland and local
A city
business.
that's been there for a very long time and has never really supported small business.
Yeah, and it's booming, man. There's just new. So yeah, just tell us how you did it, and let me know, man.
The mentality's changing. I think Garland's a great place to live, raise a family, start a business. We had some unique challenges. You bring this devil water into
This is the Bible Belt, so
there's a bar there.
yeah.
But I think when you build something for your inner circle and share it with the community, build something that's genuine for the people around you, they really rally behind you, and you're genuine to them. And then when outsiders see that, they want a piece of that. And what I love about how Garland has grown since we've been there in the last 7 years is all of the new businesses are mom and pops, genuine people who are.
Did you say 7 years?
Yeah, 7 years now.
Wow, that's awesome.
And there's a uniqueness. And when you go to a place like a mall or something really built out, they're there to fix you. Come here, buy this, you'll feel good. Buy that, you'll be happy. Have this experience, take a picture, you'll be cool. Downtown Garland's unique in a way, and I think our business is really in line with that. Is you come here as you are, and we're not pretentious, just like this shop. Experience, talk to everyone.
Love it.
No one's a stranger.
Absolutely love it. Supporting local breweries like yours, like Intrinsic, we love that. It's phenomenal, fantastic. Famous Roger Amos, last word real quick on supporting local breweries.
Yeah, so you got to do it. Like I said before, I've said it several times. You got to support local. They're your friends, they're your family, they're your neighbors. Support them. They're what makes your hometown great.
Absolutely.
Carrie is what makes his hometown great.
Amen to that.
Support these
Awesome.
guys.
Hey, come back right after these messages. We're going to have a PCA update from Doc Trey Andrews and talk a little bit of Dallas Mavericks basketball right after these messages.
Yeah? You smoke a Roy-Tan cigar?
Man to man, smoke a Roy-Tan. Man to man, smoke a Roy-Tan cigar. Man to man, smoke a Roy-Tan. For a taste that is better by far.
Roy-Tan offers you a wide choice of shapes and sizes to suit your taste. Whichever you choose, you'll enjoy the fine-tasting tobaccos that Roy-Tan is famous for.
Come on now, break it up, boys. Man to man, smoke a Roy-Tan. Man to man, smoke a Roy-Tan cigar. Man to man, smoke a Roy-Tan. For a taste that is better by far.
Man.
Apparently right now.
And welcome back to episode 7 of Elite Aficionados. I'm your host, Matt Thornton, along with famous Roger Amos and Dr. Amos, and of course, Carrie Hodson from Intrinsic Cigar. Yeah. Oh, there we go. I might have started something there. But you were gone last week. Exciting event, the Premium Cigar Association, also known as PCA Annual Conference, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yep.
Trey, I know you saw a lot of great stuff there.
I did.
We're dying to know, man. What's the new stuff? Give it to us.
So the PCA, like he says, the Premium Cigar Association, that is our annual trade show.
Okay.
And it is the single largest buying show or event in the cigar industry. And it's only manufacturers and retailers.
Okay.
No consumers are allowed to be there.
Gotcha. So a
And-
guy like me couldn't come, huh?
No, sir.
Oh, man.
No, sir.
Smoke inside?
Absolutely.
There's
I've
a lot of-
smoked about 12 to 15 cigars a day there.
Oh,
Yeah. Makes it a little hard for you to find really good nuggets, but every once in a while, one's going to sneak through, and you're like, oh, I don't want to put this down. It's really good.
What kind of space is it in?
It's at the Sands Expo
Oh, okay.
in Vegas.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah,
big
good
center.
good
Yeah.
big size expo for sure.
So this year, honestly, I was a little disappointed at the overall newness.
Oh,
Right, all the new stuff being shown.
Okay.
Some things really stuck out to me, but it was few and far between. Right.
Yeah. All right.
But one of the ones that I was super excited about was most of you guys may have heard of Davidoff cigars.
Yeah.
One of my favorite brands out there.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And Eladio Diaz was the master blender and quality control guy for Davidoff for many years.
Okay.
And he retired and opened up his own factory.
Oh, wow.
And his first cigar is actually made for a company called Freud Cigars, like Sigmund Freud.
Sigmund Freud cigars. All right.
So Sigmund Freud, or Freud Cigars, started out with 2 cigars to start the company. One of them is called the Super Ego, which is made by William Ventura, which he actually makes a lot of the Caldwell cigars. Another very good blender. He had been with Davidoff for many years as well. And then the other one was the Agape, and that's the one that was made by Eladio Diaz. So I got to smoke both of those. Absolutely incredible.
Nice.
They
All right.
will be at all 3 Elite shops
Ooh,
very soon.
There we go. All right.
Incredible. One of my favorite cigars that I smoked at the show. It was absolutely ridiculous, right?
Awesome.
Then, probably the highlight of the show, and unfortunately, I missed the unveiling of it because I had to hit the road to go to the airport to fly
I
back.
was gonna say you were.
I was blowing and going, man.
That's the story he's giving us. He was on the. Yeah.
I was there for 1.5 days by myself.
Right?
Yeah,
Vegas.
in Vegas.
All right.
But this is the Padron Fuente collaboration called the Legends.
Legends. Okay.
So Jose Padron and Carlos Fuente were the patriarchs of both families. Right. Both of them have passed away. And what they did was Padron Cigar Company made a cigar for Carlos Fuente based on what they thought his palate would be.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And then Fuente made a cigar for Padron based on what they thought Jose Padron's palate would be.
Interesting. Okay.
Super unique.
Yeah.
And they're going to be
It's
amazing.
typically competitors, right? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but you're looking at, companies in Nicaragua and in Dominican, a lot of times they're very anti-teamwork.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah.
those are 2 of the stalwarts
Okay.
in this industry,
It's like
right?
competition.
So it was super cool that they did this. They were supposed to debut it last year at the trade show, and they didn't. They debuted it this year. They weren't taking orders, but they debuted it. And I was told that we're getting a box.
Oh, okay.
And I do probably close to $200,000 a year with Padron.
Wow.
Probably about $150 a year with Fuente. Fuente, and we're getting an A box.
All right.
So that cigar is going to be like
This cigar is elite.
elite for sure. Another cigar that I fell in love with. So Cavalier cigars. Some of you guys might know who they are. Sebastian is the owner. He's from Geneva, Switzerland. Okay. Amazing guy.
El Suizo.
El Suizo. Great guy. And all of his cigars have a little gold diamond on it. It's food grade gold. You smoke through it. Kind of a gimmick, but it draws people in. And when you smoke it, they're really good cigars. So he started a kind of a subset brand called Inner Circle by Cavalier Geneva. So it's technically not a Cavalier, but it's by Cavalier. Kind of weird. Yeah. But I smoked one, and I actually gave one to RJ.
Okay.
So
producer RJ's cleaning up.
From what I hear, he didn't hate it. So
he didn't hate it.
I'm pretty excited about that
one.
launch.
2 thumbs up.
Right.
All right. We love it.
So every year at the trade show, day one, Tatawahe does something special.
Oh, okay.
And every retailer that carries Tatawahe, if you don't stop at that booth as your very first booth, first day of the trade show, you're not going to get it.
Okay. All right.
And we got 5 different new cigars from Tatawahe. And I'm really excited about all of them. But the one that I'm super excited about is he does a cigar called the Pork Tenderloin.
Pork Tenderloin.
I know.
You know something about that, don't you? Yeah.
But it's always been a limited edition, like event only cigar, right? So he's actually doing that cigar with a San Andreas wrapper.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So it's releasing next year, but they debuted it here, and I ordered 100 bundles.
Wow.
So I need you guys to come and buy some.
So I don't need to steal any time. I don't mean to steal any time from
why stop now?
Why stop now?
Right? That's what he did, right?
Any of my people from the Midwest know exactly what a fried pork tenderloin sandwich is. Nobody down here in Texas knows.
St. Louis, Kansas City, man, they love that.
But continue.
And most of my guys know that AP Carrillo is one of my favorite brands. Ernesto is one of my favorite blenders. I used to rep for them. It was an absolute honor to even be affiliated with that company. I love them, and we have started once I started doing the ordering at Elite. We didn't have anything EPC. Okay. They used to buy from me when I was the rep, and then things kind of went sideways. But I brought them back in, and now we are absolutely one of their A accounts, and it's been very nice because I love them, right? And so it's been very beneficial both sides. They actually the pledge, which was last year's #1 cigar of the year, highest rated #1 ever in Cigar Aficionado magazine with a 98. Wow, amazing cigar. They are releasing a Lonsdale size of it.
Oh, interesting.
I just smoked that sample today, and I think I just fell in love again.
Where's mine?
Come on, bro.
Did you bring some for it?
I got one sample. And trust me, it was great.
All right. I thought I was your boy, man.
It happens in Vegas.
Yes, yeah. Apparently, that's smoke in Vegas.
We ordered a lot, so you can get them soon enough. But they also have a new cigar called the Allegiance. And it's a really neat concept, right? So the Allegiance is blended by Ernesto Perez Carrillo, but it's going to be made at the Oliva factory, right? But then in subsequent years, they're going to be made at other factories that he has really good relationships with.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So it's kind of a neat concept, right? It's still his blends.
Right.
And I think it also helps them because they've had so many like home runs over the last 4 or 5 years that this gives them a chance to make really good cigars at other factories and not affect their production of their core line stuff, right? It's pretty smart.
Yeah, it's very
good. But that Allegiance, I still haven't smoked it yet. It's in my bag, and I am excited to smoke it.
Yeah. Right there.
Oveja Negra. It's my next one.
Okay.
That's Blackworks, Black Label, Dissident, Emilio. So we do really, really well with them. It's a major boutique brand, really, really good. But they actually had a couple of different limited editions that they showcased. The Dissident brand. So Dissident was started by Westside Humidor in Wichita, Kansas. Okay. And their cigars were made by a smaller manufacturer. Packaging was great, cigars were not. They kind of went out of business, and my buddy Ben Holt, that was the rep for Oveja Negra, bought the brand, transitioned it over, had everything made by Oveja Negra, and started really taking off. And he has since sold the brand to a couple that lives in Nicaragua. Amazing people, super nice. But they have a new limited edition release called the Molotov, like a Molotov cocktail, right? So I got one sample of that, and I brought it back.
One sample, that's it?
I didn't get to smoke it. I actually gave it to my store manager in Addison because he's a big fan, and I wanted to take care of him. And
give it to us.
He said it was absolutely incredible.
All right.
I ordered 10 boxes. That's all I could get.
Okay, all right.
But the other side of that, the Blackworks Black Label, which is another section of Oveja Negra, they're showcasing the Shaolin, which is part of the Green Hornet Killer Bee.
Yes.
That's a barber pole, Candela Maduro.
Okay.
And I'm giving that sample to one of our super good customers that loves that brand.
Okay.
So
It's like a barber pole Candela Maduro.
yeah.
So that's like, this sounds disgusting. It sounds disgusting, but it's like a grassy chocolate cake.
Pretty
They're
sure it's
actually
gonna be
phenomenal. They're actually phenomenal. I haven't smoked this one, but yeah.
Right. I didn't smoke it either because I'm giving it to my guy.
Yeah.
Zycar debuted a new cutter.
Oh, new cutter.
If I'm being honest, I've lost a little luster with Zycar since they got bought by Quality Imports. They still have a couple of cutters and lighters that are still really well made and still do really good things with it. This cutter it's shaped like the original XI3s, which is it looks like the Star Trek emblem, right?
Oh, yeah.
But this one on the top, it's a big circle and with little knobs on the top. And you turn it, and the springs open it up. And when you let go, it cuts it.
Wow.
So it's kind of a neat concept. Really cool. We ordered a couple.
Yeah. Money, is it big money?
One of the most ridiculous things I saw at the show.
Okay. Yeah.
There is a cigar brand, and I don't mean to put them out there, but Drunk Chicken Cigars.
Drunk chicken.
Not super thrilled with the name.
Okay.
I've heard the cigars are not bad.
All right.
Not quite what I'm looking for in my humidors. They had a person there dressed in a chicken costume,
Of course.
with a sign saying "Drunk Chicken Cigars this way."
Right.
And that person almost tackled me, walking to and from the booth.
Oh, yeah.
And doing the whole sign dance thing, and I was like, I'm really not interested.
So
no offense.
His marketing didn't work.
It did for some people because their booth was always busy. It just didn't work for me.
Copy that.
Next
Didn't
year,
work for me.
Blackie Baby 2-pan cigars.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
Yeah. Why not, right? Why not?
Just the most ridiculous name you can come up with. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, PCA update, love it.
So yeah, it was interesting. This was the first time that my partner Kent in 17 years didn't go to the trade show.
Oh, okay.
He sent me. I was a little nervous,
Right.
And he also only sent me for 2 days, which ended up being more like 1 and 2 Thursdays. And we order a lot of cigars from a lot of people, so I had to basically do every single appointment, and knock them out. I was able to do everything that I did, but
meetings.
Yeah, but I didn't have time to sit down and relax and enjoy it and talk to the reps and companies that I've been friends with for a decade, right?
Right.
I was able to get the job done, but I mean, I was a rep for years, right? And all those guys, like, we have great like friendships and conversations. And I was like, here's my order. Show me the new stuff. I love you. I'm out. And that's literally how it went for 1 and 2 Thursdays.
As a proprietor or as a visitor to Rowlett, Elite Cigars Rowlett, I appreciate all your hard work for getting us the great new cigars. And as your co-host, I appreciate you giving the awesome PCA update. Very, very cool.
It was fun.
Yeah, it sounds like a blast. And I'm sorry that I couldn't go. Obviously, I don't sell cigars, so I couldn't go. But thanks so much, Dr. Andrews, giving us the cigar update from PCA. Hey, after these messages, we're going to do the DFW sports update, a little Dallas Mavericks offseason, and Texas Rangers. What are they doing as well? Come back right after these messages.
Ando cero voy para Marcané, llego a Puerto voy para Mayarí. De Ando cero voy para Marcané, llego a Puerto voy para Mayarí.
Welcome back to another episode of Elite Aficionados excuse me, episode 7. I'm your host, Matt Thornton, along with famous Roger Amos and Doc Trey Andrews, and we got Kerry Hodson here from Intrinsic Brewing as well. And a little bit of DFW sports update. Started talking about the Dallas Mavericks. Some sad news, some good news. Mavericks' big offseason moves. Jalen Brunson left for free agency to the New York Knicks.
I'm not really sad
no
about it.
sign and trade, nothing. They got nothing back whatsoever. Trey, I mean, nothing at all. I mean, the guy. Listen, the guy carried the team in the playoffs while Luka Doncic was out.
I know.
Goodness gracious, man.
But Jalen Brunson is not an off-the-ball player. Okay. And playing with Luka, he's not going to be a ball handler primarily, right?
All right.
And I would have loved to have seen a sign and trade.
Yeah.
But his dad is the assistant coach at the Knicks, and his godfather / former agent is the GM. Like, everybody knew he was going there.
Exactly.
I would have loved to have seen him give us an opportunity to do a sign and trade. But it is what it is.
It left a point guard size hole the size of Texas, frankly, in my opinion. But they also added shooting guard Jaden Hardy, draft pick via the trade, right? Draft night, 17.7 points, 4.6 rebounds, 3.2 assists, 35% shooting in the G League. Not a bad season. I mean, honestly, I was surprised in the second round he was still there.
So his issue is he's an AAU player, an absolute stud. Everywhere he's ever been, he's been the best player on his team. He's a good shooter. He's got a ton of athleticism, but he also makes really bad decisions. He makes really bad shots when he's creating his own stuff. Okay, and that kind of lingered on.
Well, but will Luka Doncic improve him in that department? Right?
We'll see. Like, I don't know that he's going to do much this season, but maybe next season he'll be a nice piece.
Fair point. I do like what they did in the front court, adding center Javal McGee. He's a plus defender, but he was waived in 2016 by these same Mavericks. So you kind of they also added center Christian Wood in the trade with Houston, right? So really good kind of two center combo, maybe a double-headed combo there at the center position.
So Christian Wood is a 20-10 player. 20 points a game, 10 rebounds a game. Absolute stud, but he's a knucklehead.
Yeah, right.
But what I heard the other day is that they actually might be thinking about playing both of them together, putting him at the 4, and JaVale McGee at the 5.
Right.
JaVale McGee is not an offensive threat at all. But pick and roll, pick and pop, like that guy might do really well with having Luka like distribute the ball to him.
That sounds like a big lineup though. Teams don't go with big lineups, right?
Great point, Roger. They're wanting to have a lineup that's 6'5" or bigger across the board.
Really,
and it's unique. It's very unique. So it's one of those things because they really got out rebounded,
out rebounded, out defense,
everything on the glass.
And having Christian Wood, like that guy is actually a very good ball handler for a 7-footer. He's a great scorer. So if you have him and JaVale McGee at the same time, like that could be interesting.
Well, McGee's already claimed the starting center position, and I was like,
and he's a dog. Like, we haven't had a dog since Tyson Chandler. He's a dog.
Another knucklehead,
of course,
but was fantastic. He was actually a really good player for us.
With him, right?
Absolutely. So Nico Harrison, in the offseason, kind of a quiet offseason. There was rumors that Kyrie Irving may be coming to Dallas. Mark Cuban very quickly or not Mark Cuban. Somebody gave the notice said no, we're not interested rather quickly.
We still have a roster spot.
Okay, exactly.
And anywhere between now and the end of training camp, we can still acquire a player. But they're saying Spencer Dinwiddie might come off the bench and be a really good point guard / point forward. forward. We'll see. We're getting Hardaway back.
Yeah,
Hardaway missed basically all last season.
That's a great point. I just think you got much better, obviously, on the boards, which is somewhere that they definitely needed to improve. But now that point guard position, I mean, I look at it and it looks like now they're weak at that position.
Right.
Potentially,
It's a backup.
It's a balancing act. But to your point, they still have that extra roster spot. All right, transitioning over to the Texas Rangers, standing right now 40 wins, 45 losses, third place in the AL West with 16 and a half games back from the leaders, Houston Astros. And you got to give credit to pitcher Martin Perez, named AL Pitcher of the Month in May.
Who would have ever seen that coming?
I'm telling you, 4-0 record, .64 ERA.
And what about Corey Seager? 5 home runs in 5 straight games.
Seager's been doing extremely well.
Started off slow.
Their bats have been a little inconsistent,
They're getting better.
You know,
we started off super slow, but we're still way better than the Kansas City Royals.
No, come on.
throwing shade.
Yeah, you know, they're the second worst team in the AL right now, so I'm going to end up having to buy you a cigar.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a bet.
Okay, all right. And that bet is?
I'm going to win. That's all you need to know.
The numbers don't prove it yet, but once they do, I will humbly buy that cigar for you.
You can go ahead and buy it.
Until then, you can
beep, 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 beep.
Right. Okay.
You don't have to buy it from him.
Yeah, I'll buy it from somebody else. How about that? I'll go to the place right around the
You
corner.
should do that.
I will not.
Boy, so much shade being thrown in the Kansas City versus Texas.
That's what best friends do.
Right. Best friends for sure. So, big question is, can the Rangers dig out? Can they dig out from being so far down from Houston? What do you think? Do they have enough time to be able to do it?
So honestly, I thought they had a really good opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
The last 3 series were against bottom feeders, and we did not do well.
Did not.
We tend to play better against really good teams, and we play down the competition with teams that aren't very good.
Yeah.
And we've got the talent now to where Chris Woodward, he is now on the clock.
Yeah.
The last couple of seasons, we didn't have a very competitive roster. We do now.
Yeah. No, I like it. I think you're right. I think there's still opportunity there for them, but it's going to be a tough road.
If you look at right now, at our record currently, if you were to take this and forecast it out to the end of the season, we're 18 games better than we were last year.
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive.
Good point. Yeah.
Pretty impressive. But the signings that we made this offseason, we hope to be a lot better.
Yeah, I agree.
But our start to the season was atrocious.
I agree. Yeah, the start was really slow. Tough start indeed. Hey, DFW Sports Update. That's awesome. We also like to do a wrap-up, final thoughts, and I'm going to go to famous Roger Amers first. Your final thoughts for today. What do you got?
So, I would like to give a quick shout out to a big time customer here at Elite Rowlett,
Yes.
Mr. Jay Bitzer, Dave and Larry Moss.
And Larry the legend. Yeah.
Dave and Larry commissioned these fantastic ashtrays from Jay Bitzer. Fantastic artist. He does obviously super cool woodwork. He does some nice photography.
Yeah, he took cigar boxes, put lids on them with cigar holes, and actually put the picture of my shop in the middle of it.
Right.
Very cool.
And when they showed me these, I'm not going to lie, I teared up a little bit.
I had no idea they were coming.
I didn't either.
I saw them like, holy crap, these are like really cool.
incredible.
So shout out to him. Big shout out to Carrie and Intrinsic. Yeah.
There you go.
Big shout out to Intrinsic. I'm super glad you came in. Super happy to have you guys, have you here. Just real quick, what do you have going on in downtown Garland right now?
Great question.
Sure. So we opened on my 30th birthday.
Oh,
Just
wow.
give you like a sense of the
30th birthday. Man, all right.
It also happens to coincide with the anniversary of the repeal of prohibition, which kind of felt like we're bringing this thing to the town that wasn't.
Thus your last anniversary party.
We've been super blessed to have a community rally around this. Of course, we had the COVID stuff that did.
It affected everybody.
We relied on the community for that. We crowdsourced the brisket. Kind of cashed in all our investments in the community, and they're the reason we're here. So thank you.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So now we're going through some construction with some damage on the patio, but we're getting started in the next 10, 14 days on construction. We're going to have some rooftop decks.
4 smokers.
Yes, sir. We'll have to do an event. I'd love to have you guys out there and do
I know a guy.
pairing for the public. Maybe release the beer there, and then also release it here. Something. We'll put you on the spot.
I like where you're headed.
Okay.
Hey, I will absolutely make time for you guys.
Collaboration.
The first time I met this guy, he was doing a crowdsource, what do we call that? In the spot that is now closed, and he had no roof. He had a spot but no roof. But the guy made fantastic beer, and look where he's at now, man. It's fantastic. He's done a great job. Fantastic job, man.
And it's a community effort, family effort.
We went there for Father's Day for lunch and beers, and I tried to catch him a few times to say hi and thank you.
He's a
and
busy
he was
guy.
so busy.
So busy, yeah.
And he was like, just blow me off. He's like, I don't have time for you little people.
Yeah.
I didn't see you.
I know. I get it. No,
He's hard to miss in that big
super
purple
busy.
jacket.
All right.
You're super
That's
busy.
the story.
So the square is under construction now. It's a multi-million-dollar project. We're going to bring back live music to the square, large events. Maybe not the Star Spangled Fourth event, but Christmas on the Square. This Friday we have a beer bumble.
Oh, nice.
So $25, or if you use the promo code beer, you get $5 off. So $20, you get to go to all the businesses on the block. You get a map and you get to try all the different
What if we
beers.
show up in our smoking jackets?
Yeah, I can help you.
And we would be really dumb because it's going to be hot as hell.
It will be hot, but there's air conditioning.
We did.
And cold beer. So
My wife and I did the wine walk in downtown Garland, about a month ago now?
I think so.
Yeah, about a month ago we did the wine walk. We met businesses we didn't even know were there.
It's a great way to
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly why these things are done. You go, you walk around, beautiful area, you visit local businesses, supporting local, and just buy a little something from every place you go.
Very cool. Very awesome. We're so glad to have you, man. Any last final thoughts before we roll over to Trey?
Just thanks for having me. Like Roger said, I'm a big fan of supporting local to attract investors in the neighborhood.
Vice versa.
And shops like this, breweries like that. Thank you.
Awesome. Glad to have you. Final thoughts, Trey. Trey Andrews, what do you got, my friend?
So, Carrie probably won't remember this, but at their 2-year anniversary, we were all there supporting, drinking, smoking, having a blast. And I won a raffle for free beer for a year.
Oh, okay.
And I
you
told
failed,
them-
sir.
I
You
told them, I was
failed.
like, you are going to go bankrupt. I literally went twice that year.
Oh, wow.
And I felt like such a piece of crap.
You are with it. Lose not win.
To be fair, I was a cigar rep at the time.
Okay.
And I was doing a ton of traveling.
That's your
But,
excuse.
well, it's not a great excuse because I could have gone at least 4 times, but I didn't. Especially after I talked trash about bankrupting you guys because I drink a lot of beer from there and I have since you opened.
Sounds like talking trash doesn't work out.
Right. Yeah.
Not very good at it. Not very good at it. But I've been back quite a few times since, and I have to pay for all my beers, and I'm more than willing to do so.
Fantastic. Hey, my final thought. We missed July 4th because we were all taking a little vacation, but we want a big shout out to all those folks who work and serve our country in the military. It's a special thing. We get to do things like this. We have great shows in free, beautiful, the United States of America. I want to thank you all the awesome veterans and the folks that like you, my friends, that are served in our country's armed forces. So we missed it. We were going to have a big American flag behind us and stuff and salute it, but that was my final thought. I just want to say thanks so much to everybody that serves our great country because it is an awesome country indeed, and we love it. So that was July 4th. Got to give a little, and I did go to the Rowlett fireworks display. It was amazing, and I'm a Garland kid too. I grew up. I went to South Garland High School. So, like, did you go to South Garland? My man, Colonels Unite. That's awesome. I was probably a little bit further ahead of you.
Now they're the Titans.
They are the Titans. I know. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I misspoke. So, but in the day, they were the Colonels. So you were a Colonel. I was a Colonel too. So that's awesome. But hey, awesome show. Thank you so much, Kerry, for coming. Hey, join us for the next episode of Elite Aficionados next Wednesday, July 20th at 6:30 p.m. Central Time, featuring Rojas House Rolled Maduro cigar with special guest Albert Cisneros from Rojas Cigars, and we're going to pair it with Benchmark Bourbon 8 Bourbon. We're also talking Texas Rangers and Dallas Cowboys for Doc Trey Andrews, famous Roger Amos, producer RJ Alvarado, our awesome special guest Kerry Hodson, and myself. God bless and be elite.